Hey everyone, welcome back. Dr. T living your best life here in the Philippines. As you can see, I am back in Mocktown, Newtown. Just kind of show you around as we talk about this topic. So, this one's going to be kind of short, but honestly, one of the most annoying things for me personally, and lots and lots and lots of expats and foreigners just traveling through all the different places that I've met along the way. One of the things that bothers us the most are the taxi drivers. And maybe that sounds silly or crazy, but let me explain. To sum it up, you get the foreigner price. And I know some people maybe watching this video are going to comment and think, well, big deal. You know, the mindset of a lot of people, especially when they're on vacation, right? The mindset is they're still thinking American money or whatever currency it is from their home country, right? And I was guilty of it myself. When I first got here, I didn't know the taxi drivers were ripping me off, because when they tell you 600 pesos to go somewhere, that's not much money for us in America. You do the conversion rate in your head and you say, wow, that's like $11. That's a pretty good deal, because Uber in America would be, you know, $25, $30 or more. So you think to yourself, oh, that's a hell of a deal. And then after you've been here for a while, you find out from Filipinos, they laugh at you and they say, you got the foreigner price. That's kind of the joke here. You just paid the foreigner price. Because guess what? When a Filipina gets in a taxi and goes to the same destination that you just went to for 600 pesos, they get 300 pesos. And yeah, I get it. It's not much money. Oh, well, 300 pesos, big freaking deal, man. And a lot of people kind of have that mindset. But let me explain to you why I think that that's kind of a silly approach. Because one of the main selling points for the Philippines, not just the beauty, but one of the reasons most of us have left our home countries and decided to come here, is cost. Just being honest, right? I'm sure you've done some research. I've talked about it on some videos. Cost of living here is crazy low compared to America. So let's not turn this into the same place we just left in 10 years. And what I mean by that is the taxi drivers who double their rates for foreigners, right? When that just becomes the norm, when no one complains about it, no one calls them out on it for ripping them off, then guess what? The ride that should have been 300 pesos is then 600 pesos, and then it goes up to 1,000 pesos. And then the taxi ride that should have been $6 1 or 2 years from now is $20. And eventually we're going to just run into the same kind of nonsense we have back in the US or wherever country you come from, right? So, and for me, maybe this sounds weird on a YouTube video, but for me it comes down to ethics, right? And again, maybe that sounds silly, but I just don't see it being very ethical when you rip me off. And I take taxis a lot, unfortunately, because you have to. I actually bought a motorcycle. I'm going to do another video on that experience, how to buy a motorcycle in the Philippines. And that process, one of the main reasons I actually bought my motorcycle was because I was tired of dealing with the taxi drivers. And there's ways to try and get them to not scam you, but they still scam you anyway. I took one yesterday, actually, because I came back from the port and I didn't want to take the motorcycle onto the ferry because it's a real pain. So I took a taxi from the port over to a motorcycle shop, because I wanted to stop at a motorcycle shop. And one of the things you can ask them is, do you have a meter? Because they'll tell you that their meter's broken. That's always the one that they say, oh yes, I have meter, but it's no work. It's broken. And what they're doing there is they're ripping you off, obviously, because they're charging you more money. And they say, where are you going? And then you tell them where you're going, and then, okay, it's 400 pesos, 600 pesos, 800 pesos, whatever they come up with in their head, right? And like I said, you being maybe newer to the Philippines, you do the conversion rate real quick in your head. You say, that's fine, sure. 600 pesos, and then you realize you just drove 10 minutes down the road. And it should have been 200 pesos. So I had that happen literally yesterday. I said, do you have a meter? Because the meter, if they're honest, they can play games with the meter. I'll explain that. If they're honest and don't mess with the meter, that I don't have a problem paying that, and I will tip. And like I said, don't watch this video and think I'm just some stingy butthole from America that doesn't want to pay for things. I tip everywhere. I tip at restaurants when I'm not supposed to. I leave money. It's just the way things are in America, so I'm kind of used to that. So I tip when I get good service, and when a taxi driver is actually honest, I'll tip them for sure. So I always ask, do you have a meter? Yes, I have a meter. Does it work? It's always and yet this guy said, yes, it's working. It's working. We got to where we were going, and he says the meter stopped working along the way. I don't know how much the fare is, but you give me what you think it's worth. So they're hoping that you are overly generous. And I said 400 pesos. And my girlfriend laughed and she said, no, that's too much. She said, give him 300. And I said, well, whatever. I gave him 400. So he got 100 pesos. Big deal, it's $2. But like I said, the point is, and like I said, don't look at this and laugh and say, well, you must be a real asshole that you're worried about $2. No, I'm not worried about $2. I'm not worried about $20 or $100. That's not the point. But like I said, I'm just worried about turning this into that's the norm. And they know it. And I get it. Some people are going to watch this and say, well, these people are really poor. What's the big deal if they make an extra couple bucks a day on foreigners? And part of me does think that. And like I said, that's why I tip them. Every time I've gotten a taxi and it's legit, I'll tip them 50 or 100 pesos every time. I have no problems doing that. I never tip when I know they're ripping me off. So that's just me. And like I said, it happens every single time. I think there's been twice, literally twice, that I can remember where a taxi driver has been honest here and I've tipped them. Other than that, they always rip you. The worst are when you travel, like when you take the ferry. Like I said in other videos, I've gone back and forth from Cebu to Bohol numerous times, and right now currently I have a place here in Lapu-Lapu and a place in Bohol. So I'm going back and forth semi-regular. It's really annoying because as soon as you get off the boat, once you get past the checkout, basically, they swarm you. Where are you going? Where are you going? When you go over to Bohol. Alona Beach, 700. And you're thinking, well, that sounds like a good deal. Maybe you just got here from Germany or New Zealand or wherever country you come from, Australia, US. You're thinking, 700 pesos to go to the beach? That sounds like a good deal. Sure. It should be 300 to go from the pier to Alona Beach. Should be 300 because I've lived there and now I know what it actually should cost, and that's what I tell people. That's one of the ways I get them sometimes to not scam me. Well, they try to scam you first, but like for example, like when I come back from Cebu back to Bohol next week, I'm gonna get that. Sir, where are you going? Alona, 700. Then what you do, you just keep walking. Then they lower it down to 600. Then they lower it down to 500. And then if you keep walking, sometimes they stop there because they're hoping someone else will get them for 700. But now I tell them, I'm not a tourist. I live here. This is my residence. I have a house. I live in Bohol, or I live in Cebu. And then they say, oh, okay. And traveling with a Filipina doesn't really help you, believe it or not, because the taxi driver literally yesterday, after we went from the motorcycle shop back to Mocktown, Newtown, had to get another taxi for that one. He ripped us off also. We got back to the condo and he was talking Bisaya and he said, this is how much it's going to be. And she said, no, that's too much. And he said, it's okay, ma'am, you're not paying for it. Your boyfriend's paying for it. And she laughed and she told me in English what he said. And I, like, basically, he knew he was ripping me off and she knew he was ripping me off. But it was okay because I was paying for it. So I just you know, kind of dealt with that, and I paid him accordingly. But again, no tip in there for sure when you're trying to rip me off, and you know you're ripping me off, and you you think. He told my girlfriend, he said, yeah, we can, he said, how about 700 and I give you he was going to get 700 and give her 100 back, like basically for helping rip me off. But and I talked about this in other videos, that's actually one of the scams here, believe it or not. That's one of the scams that a lot of the girls do. That they work with the taxi drivers and the tuk-tuk drivers and the moped drivers, and they tell their so-called boyfriend or their dude they're meeting, oh, I need 600 for the ride over here, or I need 1,000 pesos for the ride over here. They go pretend to give the taxi driver 1,000. He gives them back a few hundred pesos, and that's how they make extra money. So just be aware of it. And whatever, it's your money. You want to blow it and don't think twice about it, sure, go ahead. But like I said, just be aware. It's one of the scams. Best thing to do is say, do you have a meter? Does it work? And actually make them show you the meter, because they'll just tell you some arbitrary price that they made up in their head. But I actually want to physically look my eyes on the meter. And the other thing they can do is they can add in money as the fare as it's going. I've seen them do that. I've gotten to destinations and they add in 100. Actually, that happened to me today. I was going to, I wanted to go back to a different motorcycle shop today. And I was going from Mocktown. I said, do you have a meter? He says, yes. Is it working? Yes. I'm in the taxi, probably 5 minutes down the road. And he says, oh, sir, where you going is very far. He says, I'm going to have to charge you another 100 pesos. And I said, that doesn't make any sense. I told you where I was going when I got in the taxi. Now all of a sudden it's 100 more pesos. And he said, but I'm very hungry. I need to stop for lunch. Like somehow that's my fault, apparently. But again, had he just been honest, I probably would have tipped him 100 pesos, honestly. But so it's just the norm. It's just the norm here. And there's not much you can do about it. Like I've talked about in other videos, the police are utterly useless here. Don't get in an argument with these taxi drivers. You're just going to have to pay, unfortunately, whatever it is. I wouldn't recommend trying to just get out of the taxi and just deal with them that way. Unfortunately, whatever they tell you, you're just kind of screwed. I had this happen with Grab. That's an app that they use here. It's kind of like what we would have as Uber in the United States. It's an app, and you just get on there just like Uber, and you book it's a prearranged. They're supposed to tell you what the fare is up front. So I've been semi-successful using Grab because there's no negotiations, there's no meters, and there's none of that kind of stuff going on. You know, supposedly you know what you're gonna. I should say supposedly on purpose. You know what you're gonna pay. A couple weeks ago, I needed to go into Cebu City, and I don't like riding the motorcycle through the city that much. So I just figured it's just easier. I'll just get a Grab. I booked the Grab. It was supposed to be 400 to go from here over to like Lapu-Lapu, Mocktown, Newtown, over to IT Park. Should be about 400 pesos. So and that's what the Grab quoted me, 400. So I get to the destination. He says 600. And I said, that's not correct. The Grab app says 400. And I show him on my phone, this is what Grab quoted me, 400 pesos. And he says, yes, but I'm a premium taxi. And I said, what the hell is a premium taxi? Oh, well, I have an SUV. That's for a car. So I'm more expensive. And I said, the way Grab works, I'm not sure how the way Uber works in America, but the way Grab works is it sends out the fare, and they have to agree to take it. So the driver literally agrees to that fare. It'll say from Mocktown, Newtown to wherever destination I'm going, it'll say 400 pesos, and they have to accept it. So he accepted it at the 400, and then he was basically trying to scam me out of the extra 200 pesos. So I kind of got into an argument with him about that because that was wildly unethical. I thought, not much you can do about it. Like I said, not a lot you can do about it. I ended up having to pay it. I'm not going to get in a pissing match with somebody and have the police called over $4, right? But again, just there's not much you can do about it other than just be really, really, really alert. And you have to know how much things cost by talking to Filipinos and Filipinas here. And the other thing is, and this takes a while to get in your mind, is don't base everything off of your home currency. You got to think like a Filipino. I think like that now. Like when I go places, I think, how much should this cost? Am I getting ripped off? And that's going to serve you really well. And, you know, if you have a Filipina with you, they're going to know. And if they're an honest one, you know, they'll tell you, oh, that's too much, you shouldn't pay that. And don't, if you're Filipino watching this, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Filipinos, because I've seen some, not cabbies, mind you, not taxi drivers, but I've seen some really, really ethical people at stores. I was at a really, really small sorry store, and I bought something, it was like 70 pesos, let's say, for example, and I thought I gave her 100 pesos, and I wasn't even paying attention. I gave her 1,000. She gave me back the 30 pesos change, and then she was going to get the remainder of the other 900 pesos. I didn't even realize, and I started walking away. I was like 20 feet away, and she's yelling to me, sir, you forgot your money. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? And she said, you gave me 1,000. Like, she chased me down to give me the other 900 pesos. And that is really ethical. I don't think you'd see that in America. Honestly, I think they'd just throw that right in their pocket. And like I said, really small sorry store, mom and pop operation. So they could have used that extra 900 pesos for sure. So I've seen that actually several times. I've just not been paying attention. You're on your phone or you're in your own little world, and I've overpaid, and they'll say, oh, sir, you gave me too much, and they're giving you back money. So it's not a reflection of the people here. I think what the taxi situation is, it's a reflection of, like I said, it's become so standardized that, and the influx of tourism, depending on where you're at, especially if you're going, like I said, over to Bohol or Palawan or somewhere that's a really hot tourist destination, just be prepared. You're gonna get hit by the taxi drivers pretty hard. So, all right, hope that helps. Went a little longer than I thought, and my apologies for being slow on the videos lately. I'm gonna get a lot more out. I've just been traveling a lot and crazy busy with some life stuff and work and travel and enjoying myself, and I got a lot of videos I just have to go through and upload them and get them out to you guys. So like and subscribe, and a lot more coming. All right, hope that helps you guys. See you guys.